have an interesting job title, change agent. What does that mean, and what do you do on a day-to-day?
Yeah, so the great thing about ThoughtWorks is they, you have roles on projects, but they encourage you to not feel pinned into a type of specific box. They just say, like, this is what you're going to communicate to the world that you want to be. And I find the interesting thing I find about what I do is it's impossible. I just foster learning. So I'm very passionate about learning and helping people understand things. When I was at my last job, I used to say I just walked around and kicked rocks over and see what I could find. And the thing about that makes it fun is it's you can't really stay still as a person while you're learning. If you're learning, you will be changing just by default. And so I just like to foster learning as best I can, and that makes you an agent for change.
What are the hidden costs of too much change too fast?
So yeah, that was the interesting thing about what I found. I actually, at my last company, I ran a case study on just speed of delivery, mainly because when I was asked to work with teams, a lot of the time stakeholders would say, we'd like to move faster, we need to deliver faster, 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 faster. It's a mobile app development company, and speed is super key in mobile. There was a stat release last year by an app metric company that said that within the first 3 days that you download an app, you will lose 77% of your users. That's a lot of pressure, right, to move and innovate and change. And so there's this inherent need to push and improve speed and delivery and all this kind of thing. I started finding teams had that pressure with them, and so that made them move faster than really made sense. So really the point of speed is not to move faster, it's to move at the speed that makes sense for you. So change comes at its own rate, and you need to be willing to move at whatever speed that comes.
And so what can an organization do to introduce change in a more welcoming way, or in a way that it would be welcome?
I feel a lot of times, so there are several leaders in our community that have made holistic change possible. A lot of people like Jason Little, who wrote Lean Change Management. There's people like Dave Gray and others that believe that holistic levels of change are more important than the actual tactics of the change. So change management a lot of times is about, or traditional change management is about, we want to do this thing, let's write a plan for it. And they don't really understand the why. So as a leader and an agent for change, my job is to really ask why we want to do things. What is the most important? When you say you want to go faster, what do you think you're going to get out of that speed? What do you think you will get from breaking things up? And we'll get to the how we're going to get there later, but let's figure out the why. And once we do that, then it's easy.
So sometimes Agile, or going Agile, is the change.
Mm-hmm.
As a coach, how do you help make sure that it's one that's successful?
So, there's several frameworks which you can do to bring Agile or be Agile in your organization. You can introduce Scrum, you can introduce Kanban, you could just bring Lean Startup in and do not really much process at all. The point of those frameworks is not that those frameworks in and of themselves are the magic bullet. It's really, you need that pot stirrer, right? So I said that at my last job I enjoyed kicking rocks over. That was really just my way of introducing a little bit of chaos into it. There's nothing wrong with just a little bit of chaos and a little bit of mayhem, right? So because you can't stay, again, it's about learning and moving forward. You're not going to learn anything if you just keep doing the same thing over and over again. So introducing change really isn't about the framework. Agile really isn't. I don't think it's really about the framework. It's really about the attitude and what you hope it will get. And if you don't start there, then you're really digging yourself into a hole.